Hello YouTube, Dave here again. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing or an unslipcasing, I guess you could say, of the latest D&D 5th edition product, Planescape Adventures in the Multiverse. Now this was sent to me by Wizards of the Coast, so I just want to make it, known that this was a product that they had sent to me, and I do thank them for that. However, as is always the case, they are not pre-screening or scripting the video or anything along those lines, and the opinions that I express are 100% completely and totally my own. They did end up sending me both the standard version of the set as well as the Game Store exclusive. I'm probably going to keep this Game Store exclusive set sealed, at least for now, since it's just going to be the covers that are different. But we will take a look at the back here. And we'll sort of see what we've got as far as like the covers of the books and stuff are concerned there. So it does look pretty cool. Planescape is actually one of the first campaign settings that I've ever actually owned products for when it came to my D&D journey. I got the Uncaged Faces of Sigil book as well as 2 modules. And I forget, one of them was called Something Wild, and I forget what the other one was called. I don't know if I've got it handy here, but I am sitting right in front of my... Oh, here we go. Well, there we go. Yeah, so it was In the Abyss. So these were some of the modules that I owned, and I actually got those pretty early into my D&D experience there. They were still, whoops, didn't mean to bump the camera. They were still selling 2nd edition AD&D stuff at some of the stores, so this was like pretty early on. This was like 2000 or something like that. So I've had those for a little while now, but it's kind of cool to see that Planescape is once again getting some attention. Sigil's been mentioned a fair number of times over the years, including being involved in some of the adventures, I think, or there's stuff in 4th edition that had like the City of Sigil. I can't remember. I think it was in the DMG2 actually that featured Sigil pretty decently, as well as things like Manual of the Planes. And anyway, Sigil is sort of like this like donut-shaped city. It's called the City of Doors, and it's basically a great hub for connecting different like D&D settings, the multiverse, whatever you want to call it, together. So it's always been a very fascinating setting as far as I'm concerned, and it's, like I said, it's just cool to see that it is getting some use in this day and age. So within these slipcases, they have Sigil and the Outland, so it's a 96-page hardcover book that includes planar character options and details on the fantastic City of Doors, descriptions of the Outlands and gate towns that lead to the Outer Planes, and more. Then there is Turn of Fortune's Wheel, a 96-page hardcover adventure set in Sigil and the Outlands, which is designed for characters levels 3 to 10 with a jump to level 17. So that's actually kind of cool because we haven't had really anything like that as of yet in terms of an adventure that has a level range, but then has like a finale that's for much higher level characters. I'm interested to see how they pull that off. And then there's Mort's Planar Parade, a 64-page hardcover book that presents the stat blocks and descriptions for the inhabitants of the Outer Planes, including planar incarnates, hierarch, modrons, and time dragons. And then, of course, there's a double-sided poster map of Sigil and the Outlands, and a sturdy 4-panel Dungeon Master screen, which I almost guarantee is probably going to have about half of it taken up with conditions, but we'll see. I might actually be pleasantly surprised. So this is a slipcase style product, so there are 3 books contained within, but I just want to check something real quick here. Okay, so I do have I also do have the Game Store exclusive version of the Spelljammer one, and one of the things that I remember hearing about Planescape from Wizards was that they wanted to do something about the page counts on some of the books, because if we take a look at the Spelljammer one, each of the books was 64 pages, so they've actually done a pretty good job of at least having the setting book and the adventure be a bit, almost, well, 50% basically larger than what we had before. So that is definitely an improvement. So we'll see how that goes. Although I found that the Spelljammer one was fine for what it was, since the setting book was largely just information on Spelljammers themselves. But yeah, so we got two 96-page books, a 64-page book, a DM screen, and a double-sided poster map. So I'm going to set the Games for Exclusive version aside, and we're going to slide this one back into frame here, and we're going to take a look at what we have here. Also, I apologize if you hear the sounds of a puppy whining from upstairs. I assure you, he is perfectly fine. He's just in his crate. And I will admit that we've been a little lax with his crate training lately, so he gets a little bit of, I don't know if separation anxiety is quite the right term, but when I put him in yesterday, he was struggling for quite a while. So he did calm down, and he has calmed down since I sat down to start recording. But he's fine. He's just being dramatic. All right, so we have everything out of the slipcase now, and again, the slipcase is just a nice, thick, sturdy cardstock. I am a sucker for slipcase. The only thing I love more than a slipcase is a box set, so it's just really cool to see these. And I do have sort of a sentimental place in my heart for slipcases after purchasing a certain $100 slipcase back in the day, which wasn't $100, but that's a whole other story. I think I've told it on the channel before. And if the person who's involved in the story watches this video, I'm sure he'll comment on it. But here's what we got for the content. So we do have the page on the back that's just got your barcode and the list of the contents that we read off earlier. We do have our screen, which will be the last thing that we take a look at. Then we've got Mort's Planar Parade, Sigil, and the Outlands, and Turn of Fortune's Wheel. So that's the adventure there. I'm not going to do a complete flip through of these books, but we will take a little look here. So we do get a hardcover. This is the 64-page sort of bestiary thing. We do have what looks like some templates here. We got Petitioners, which is kind of cool to see. The Multiversal Menagerie. And let's see what else we got here. Oh, the paper stock is actually really thick on this. I thought those were 2 pages. So that's good. It's a thinner book, which, you know, it's always nice if this could have been also a 96-page book. If they do another one of these types of sets before the next version of D&D, you know, comes out, my suggestion would be to have each of the books be 96 pages, but they are at least increasing the page count there, because with the Spelljammer one, they were all 64 pages, so we do have 2 like near 100-page books, as well as the bestiary sort of thing. But anyway, that's just sort of, you know, my note, I guess, would be to have all 3 books just be like 96 pages or so. We got planar influences, so we have how the alignments of the planes can affect creatures found within it. And then it looks like we got some abilities to sort of template onto different creatures based off where they're influenced by. So, for example, if you're influenced by the Abyss, you gain Entropy of the Abyss as an ability. You choose one or more. Okay. Whenever the creature deals bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage, it can change the damage type to necrotic. That's kind of neat. Poison tolerant. The creature has advantage on saving throws it makes to avoid poison or the poison condition on itself. Or siege monster. The creature deals double damage to objects and structures. So it's kind of cool. You got templates that you can apply to creatures from the monster manual or some of the other monster books to flavor them based off of like different planes that the characters may visit, which I think is kind of cool. You got Elysium Carcery. Carcery is one of my favorite locations, again, just because of its involvement in the first campaign that I ever got to run from start to finish, which was the Shackled City adventure path. So I do like to see anything involving Carcery there. Pandemonium, the Nine Hells. Denizens, looks like we got some encounter tables, which is cool to see as well. I do like that. That'd be useful for just regular adventuring. And then we got our A to Z, for my American friends, A to Z. It actually felt really bad to say Z as a Canadian, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, we've got some cool creatures here. We got the Daubus, who they don't speak verbally or even telepathically. They project these like images that you have to sort of work through. I'm really bad at these, so I'm not even going to try to solve. Oh, it actually has it right there. So you see, like we got the different stuff here. So the Daubus is simply stating, "Leave at once. The lady commands it." Okay, yeah. So leaf, close enough. Yeah. At, which is hat minus the H, um, and then we've got at once. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Add. All right. All right. I guess. The lady commands it. Comb and it. Anyway. But yeah, those are just kind of cool. There's some of the older Planescape stuff that I have has like these really involved, things like this to try to solve and puzzle out. And I'm so bad at it. I'm so bad. Oh, Demo Dance. Okay. All right. I'm liking this. So I mentioned Shackle City before. The Demodans and Carcery were like the sort of the major campaign ending creatures there. So we got the Frostu, the Culibar, and we have the Shator Demodans. I'm enjoying this. I'm really enjoying. One of my favorite moments to run in Shackled City was when the plane to Carcery or the portal to Carcery was partially opened, and you had like the Frostu Demodans who don't have the ability to fly. The portal was opened like a sky portal before it became really overdone in like Marvel movies. And you just had these Farastu Demodans that just essentially rained down and just would land and just splat on the ground around the player characters. I enjoyed running that. It was a cool moment. But yeah, we got some really cool stuff in here. Again, I'm not going to go through absolutely everything, but we will take a look, just sort of flip through some random pages here. And yeah, awesome stuff. Oh, there's our Time Dragon. And looks like we got some NPCs in there as well. So that is the Mort's Planar Parade. Sigil and the Outland. So this is probably what contains the map. Yep, it does. So when I do the actual review portion of the actual review video, because it's already gotten just from trying to get the one piece up. Sorry, I got a little tear there. Not a fan of the perforated maps, but there is a trick to getting them out. You just use like a DM screen or something really sturdy, and you press against the bottom part there, and then you can get the map out. So I'll do that. I'll do that in a separate video. But yeah, so we do have. Whoops. We do have our sigil setting booklet here. And again, I'm not going to go through absolutely everything, but we will at least take a little look here. We got some character options. So we got the Gate Warden background, which is kind of neat. We got the Planar Philosopher. We got some feats in here. So I'm always on the fence when it comes to feats in 5th edition D&D, but I will say that for people that like feats in 5e, it is always good to see more of them included here. And then we've got Sigil itself. There's the Lady of Pain, which thankfully it looks like they did not stat her out. One of the big things that happened in Planescape in the past was like they had faction warfare type of thing, so it'll be interesting to see how that's integrated into the 5th edition version. Oh, there's information on the factions right there, so they are still very much a part of this, which is cool. Anyway, so there's that, and again, the map is included in the Sigil and the Outlands, and then we got the Turn of Fortune's Wheel. I'm not going to go into this one because this is an adventure book, and I don't want there to be any spoilers, but now let's take a look at the DM screen that's included. So we have a Time Dragon. There, we got some Modrons. Just got a T-Rex. Ooh, I like the purple ampersand though. That's my favorite color. That's actually my favorite color of purple as well. So that's really cool. You got a walking city there. You got like a An imp or a mephit? I think that's an imp. Might be a mephit. So yeah, pretty cool. You have an obelisk there in the background. So there's some cool stuff. Now let's take a look at the front of the screen and conditions. Okay. I will say that it's only one panel now. So they have actually shrunk it down a little bit. I also understand that conditions are an important part of 5e, and just because I have a ton of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons DM screens with conditions on it doesn't mean that everybody else does. So I totally understand that, there's going to be for some people, they're going to be really happy to see conditions on there. I will say, though, the fact that it's not 1.5 panels now, or like closer to 2 full panels, I'm okay with this. It's still there. I still would have liked something else, personally, but I can live with this, being only a single panel. It's better than it was. We'll say that. We got things you can do in your turn. So we got the first half is pretty standard stuff that you will find on pretty much every DM screen that's out there. Useful information to have, though, like object armor class and hardness, which again could be really good if you have the abyssal creature, for example, that deals extra damage against objects. So that would be useful stuff to have. You've got the skills and associated abilities, which is actually a pretty useful thing to have. Especially if you're somebody like me who's got so many different versions of D&D and other role-playing games bouncing around in my skull that I forget, which skill it's called in each version of the game, and sometimes which ability score is associated there. Damage by level is a great tool for improvisation. So the first half is pretty standard stuff, but useful stuff overall, and I do appreciate the fact that they finally at least shrunk conditions down, because before it would be like 1.5 panels of a DM screen. But then we've got the specific stuff here. We got the gate towns of the Outlands. You have the factions of Sigil. You've got the wards and counter tables for Sigil. Oh, okay, Sigil must be up here. So it's not quite a halo, but that's the actual city of Sigil itself. And then you've got the encounters in the Outlands, and then planar portals. So that's actually really cool. Like, if the players just jump through, you could have them jump through a random portal, and you got like what the anchor is within Sigil itself, what it is, where it might be, if it's on where it might connect to, for example. Or like you might go through a revolving door and wind up in Sigil or in Limbo, and then what keys there you could use just as suggestions to activate the portal. So overall, pretty cool. I like that. I do like that they've got that included. The encounter tables is always great. So overall, a pretty cool set, I must say. And I'm looking forward to actually going through and reading through the books, and I should have a proper review for this coming up probably within the next couple of weeks. So anyway, thank you all so very much for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you to Wizards for sending this my way. Thank you to each and every one of you who's taken time out of your day to watch it. And I will see you all next time. Until then, take care.